now. But what are your thoughts on this latest development and the controversy that continues?
First and foremost, I think that all the products from the refineries, only PMS is not deregulated. Yep. So diesel, dual-purpose kerosene, jet fuel, and all of that is all deregulated. So there's one item. And what is PMS used for? PMS is used to power cars and small generators and light buses. So is there really a subsidy in PMS and under recovery? How much of it is due to inefficiency? But the concept of equilibrium pricing of products cannot be taken away. If you want investments in that sector, you've got to address the pricing mechanism, which allows it to be priced at the market. Okay?
Also, could you elaborate further?
What I'm saying is that there is a shortage of refining capacity. The existing refineries are not being maintained, and we have some new ones coming in. But since in most sectors of this economy, what is lacking most is new investment and investment to maintain what is there. To do that, then the pricing of those commodities have to be driven by the market. But if you're going to do that, then the whole question of subsidies has to be addressed in an equilibrium pricing model. Is this the time to do it? I'm not sure that the time is right. But once you accept the concept and come up with a template which is efficient, then you can see the price of refined PMS going up and down. So if for example, if the price of crude drops, you just announced that it dropped by 1%, that should immediately reflect in the price of refined petroleum. Okay? So you don't have a question of subsidy removal or subsidy elimination or reduction does not necessarily mean an increase in price. As a matter of fact, it could lead to a reduction in price if the template is efficient. Okay? So I think that's one. Two, in the template, the price of crude actually is only about 65%. The other things about transportation, dealers' margins, bridging, trying to keep the price the same across the country and all of that, are those things that make the pricing of the final product inefficient compared to the pricing of the raw material. So all of these things have to be addressed holistically. Then before you now say whether there's a subsidy or not.
So you're saying that we have not in any way begun to address, or at least put some things on the ground? Because, I mean, this is something that we've been at for decades now, and we're still at the point where the government says, look, we're still in a rut. We cannot, there's no leeway.
In 2 years ago, when we moved the price from 87 or 97 to 145, it was done on the assumption of a foreign exchange rate of 285, a price of crude about 40, and all other parameters. So 145 was an equivalent. And what was done was to eliminate the subsidies at that point in time, but came with a static pricing model. What is required is a dynamic pricing model, which allows the price of refined products alter with the price of the inputs and all the other parameters, right? So if that is the case, then you automatically, if the price of crude was to drop from 70 to 60, the price of finished products will go down from maybe 150 or 160 to around 140. But you've got to think about something. Diesel is almost the lowest extract from the refining fractional distillation column. It is definitely much cheaper to extract diesel than to extract PMS, which is up there. Of course, the most expensive being jet fuel, methane, and all of that. But how come diesel is selling today, retail price of diesel is $230, while the price of PMS is $145? There's nowhere in the world that diesel is more expensive than PMS. So, but diesel is deregulated. So that's the true price. But what's more important? The trucks that move food and trucks that transport people, the buses, all of them use diesel. So when you are subsidizing PMS, you're actually subsidizing the elite who have the Mercedes-Benz cars and
yes,
all of this.
That continues to be, because many of the analysts who have spoken to us, continually say that, look, this has more benefits for the rich or the middle class or the elites, as than the poor. But like I said, we know lots of Nigerians use that, the small generators, at least those
and pollute themselves,
urban areas.
and all of that.
Okay, beyond that, for the 2018-2019 budget, 305 billion, that's what's been budgeted. But what we hear is that it looks like we're going to spend a lot more. Could hit
it's possible.
Over 1
it's
trillion.
Possible. There are
that's
two
possible.
things. One is how much refined products do we have? Let's find that out. We're talking about so many million liters a day. I don't think it is true that we are doing 60 million liters a day. There's no way.
The NNPC says 50 million.
Even 50 million is stretch.
It's still
so we have to establish one, how much we bring in and how much is not being brought in and how much is being smuggled out, right? Even for the whole of West Africa. So that is one. Two, at what price and what's that template? When that template is established, then you come up with a policy that over time you want to reduce and finally eliminate subsidies, because subsidies are reverse taxes. The fiscal adjustments required to deal with the fiscal inadequacies and imbalances in Nigeria today requires you to adjust many things, right? And it has to be done almost simultaneously with some other adjustments. You can shift subsidies from consumption to production, right? To make it more efficient. Subsidies themselves, there are subsidies in almost every market, right? So let's not deceive ourselves that subsidies are not necessarily evil, but it should be, you subsidize investment and subsidize production. But if you're subsidizing consumption, then it has to target what we are doing.
Which is what we're still doing.
So if you are going to subsidize consumption, you can subsidize health care, subsidize education. But if you are subsidizing petrol, then it has to be done efficiently with a pricing model that allows it fluctuate with the inputs. So
we'll see
it's a very sensitive issue, but I think the timing and the whole concept of subsidy has to be managed.
Well, the finance minister did say that, they're having discussions with key stakeholders to see what they can come up with. But definitely, a social safety, some kind of buffer will be needed. But thank you so much, Bismarck, for talking to us today.